What's up, pluggers and pickers around the world? Welcome to Six String Sit Down. I'm your host, Mitch Wessel, and I'm here with the great Joe Casamento. All right, Joe, man, thanks for coming on the show today. I appreciate you stopping by, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
We're going to start off with an easy one for you. How old were you when you started, and what got you into it?
I started really playing guitar probably when I was like 11. I was banging on the drums for a long time. I took lessons for drums. I had the drums. And then my dad had guitars. He was a guitar player. He had guitars laying around. I started picking them up, and then as soon as I realized I could play a song that I heard and I could make that come out rather than just banging around, then I went down the path of trying to, recreate everything I heard. So
Nice.
that's really when I started, probably about 11, yeah.
Nice, man. You remember your first guitar you were jamming on?
I do. My first guitar I was jamming on was my dad's. He had a acoustic Guild, an old Guild. It was an awesome guitar. It had cracks in it, but it was sweet. It was like the best acoustic guitar ever. But my own guitar, I had a Kurt Hammett knockoff for like $200.
The LTE or ESP or whatever?
M50. Yeah. It was like $199, and I played like one on it. And
Did it have the Floyd Rose and everything? Oh man,
yeah.
Man, as a new guitarist, I'm sure that was a nice, fun learning process keeping that thing together.
Yep. And so that was my first one that I really started, banging away at was ESP. Yeah.
So man, did you ever take lessons or self-taught pretty much?
In the beginning, I was basically, my dad would take me to the blues bars because he was into that thing, and then I kind of got hooked on that. And there was a player that lived near me named Chuck Dean, and he actually makes the Retro King amps.
Awesome.
And I saw him play, and that's when I was bit with like, oh, I want to play the blues and all that stuff. So I really started learning from watching people, and then the internet tabs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then eventually when I got more serious, I started doing the lesson thing and all that other stuff. So.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah.
So in your formative years, does anything stick out to you? Like, what did you spend the most time with that, like, you felt like helped you progress? Like learning songs, working on scale, stuff like that, or?
Honestly, I think putting myself in situations where people are much better players and musicians than 100%. I was, and just having the courage enough to throw myself in those uncomfortable situations time and time again.
Absolutely.
I think that definitely helped the most. But I had wonderful teacher, Dave Manley, who's a big jazz guy in DC, plays all the time. And that was an uncomfortable situation in practice too, but he helped me a ton. And just, constantly chasing it, it's helped me the most, and enjoying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great advice, man. Honestly, for anybody doing anything like that. I mean, put yourself. I used to do that with gospel stuff back in the day, just getting up at sheds and sink or swim, man. You get in or fit in,
We were talking about that before. I had the opportunity to play in a gospel church maybe 3 or 4 times, and I was definitely not of the norm. You know what I mean? And it was an uncomfortable thing, but it was just beautiful. Everything would come together, and then like once you get over the nervousness, just like anything,
right?
You know what I mean? It becomes it becomes natural or fun, and it was a wonderful experience. Yeah.
Okay, that's great, man. So you're currently in a blues band, Dirty Deal.
Yeah.
And then you're also, which is all covers,
Yes.
pretty much all standards. And then you're also in the Alicia Maxwell project, which is kind of a mix of originals and covers.
Yes. So the Alicia Maxwell project, that's kind of in the infantile stages, but we've been rehearsing and stuff, and we started to get the originals going and that blood flowing. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
As well as doing some covers that we just always wanted to do, that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
So let's so with the blues band, let's start with that. What does, I like to ask this to all the blues players, because everyone has kind of a little bit of a different thing. What does the blues mean to you?
The blues, for me, it's trying to convey emotions or get emotions out and reach other people without talking about it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
for me, the blues to me, all I know is when I'm done playing, I feel like I just got a massage or something like that. I feel good. I feel like everything's going to be okay. And then making somebody feel a certain way or feel something, however that's done, whether it's through the guitar or a vocal line or something like that, or, the whole band's tight and somebody feels good or gives them the bumps or something like that. To me, that's making somebody happy, and that's what the blues is.
Right. That's awesome, man. That's a great answer, man.
Yeah.
That's really good. So in your opinion, what makes a great blues player?
Well, I think there's lots of, everybody has their kind of thing that they're good at or better than others. There's the technical players, there's the people that can, copy anything they hear kind of thing. But me personally, though, it's the people that make you feel something when they play, or
Right.
when you could hear it on the radio. And by the time you're done listening to it, you're driving 85 miles an hour, and before you're something
you're
like
feeling
that, and then before you know, you're like, oh, what am I doing? Somebody that makes you evoking them,
Somebody makes you feel something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to me that'll do it.
That's awesome, man. That pretty much goes for any style, I feel like. I mean, really.
Yeah.
So as far as the covers, because you do covers in both scenarios.
Yeah.
What's your favorite cover song to play? Let's say what's your favorite cover song to play in each project?
Okay, that's cool. In the Dirty Deal project, we do Two Rolling Stone by Robin Trower.
Awesome.
And I get to stretch out a little bit in that
Right.
one, and I think that's an awesome song. I love it.
For sure.
So that would probably be my favorite in that band. And then in the Alicia Maxwell project, I like a lot of them. As a guitar player, selfishly, we do Soul Shine by Government Mule and
Awesome
Almonds.
song. Yep.
Yeah, and I like to play that one. So
Yeah, that's a killer. That's a killer. Let's talk about making you feel something. It's one of Warren's best songs, man. I mean, and there's lots to choose from, so that's incredible. Was there any cover songs that has surprised you? Like, you thought, oh, this would be a cakewalk to learn, and then kind of like, oh man, like,
yeah,
a little more tricky than you first anticipated.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you hear a song and you think, oh, it's either 3 chords or it's verse, chorus, solo, whatever, or something like that, and you think it's going to be easy, but then when you actually sit down and try to play it with, especially in a trio situation,
Right.
Can be challenging. I think we tried to do Leave Your Hat On by Joe Cocker, and I thought to myself, well, that'd be an easy one to pick up, but then we went through it a couple times, it was like, oh, it's going to take a little while. I mean, he's such a fantastic singer and musician, so I think that was one that caught me by surprise.
For sure. That's a good one, man. Yeah, Jordan Demers, who was on the show, said something like songs with long verses, or like I think it was American Pie. He mentioned like just because it's
Just
easy to
keep
play,
going,
but
going.
it's like keeping track of where you're at.
100%.
There's a lot of words and stuff.
100%, yeah. Especially if you get caught up in it a little bit, and then you're like, oh, where am I? Trying to find where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So you also write some originals with this new project.
Yeah.
What's your writing process like?
Well, like I said, we're in the infantile stages of doing that right now, but I know that Alicia has songs that she had previously. I have a bunch of songs that I wrote, and we do some jamming, obviously. So I think it's going to be a collective effort of all three. So I don't know for you, but for me, sometimes I'll just, the way that I like to write is I'll just sit down and start hammering something out, and as soon as I get something that starts sounding cool, I'll just start mumbling weird stuff over it until all of a sudden it's like, okay, I got a verse. I don't even know what it's going to be about.
Right.
And then sometimes I'll do the lyrics later. And then I think it's just going to be a collective effort of the jamming of that, her songs, my songs, collaboration.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And the voice memo on the iPhone. That's your friend. That's my biggest friend. You know, because you don't forget those ideas. Always put on the recorder.
Yeah, and it doesn't lie either, too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So another question is, this is kind of a fun one I like to think about is if, not counting a tuner, because obviously that's a kind of a basic, but what's your desert island pedal? If you had to pick one, you could only use one at a gig.
Well, I like to use pedals like just a little bit, just like to add a flavor here. Like I got some pretty weird ones that I use, and then I have just like a boost pedal that's on all the time. Yeah. So I'd probably say my boost pedal. I bought it off of Davey Knowles. I don't know if you know who Davey Knowles is.
No, not sure. No.
He's a wonderful player.
Oh yeah, check him out. Definitely, absolutely check him out.
Yeah, and I saw he was selling his it's a Pete Cornish NBM2 boost pedal. So it's just a direct boost, but it sounds awesome. So yeah. At this point, I'd probably take that one.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I feel like you always need that boost to just give that little extra.
Yeah.
Little extra oomph out of the amp, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a little hair.
Yeah. So, well, man, I'm pretty much gonna wrap it up with my favorite question, which is Mount Rushmore guitar players. Who would be on your Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, it is a tough.
It is tough, man, because there's so many greats out there,
and it changes for me probably every month. I have something.
Yeah, I agree.
My favorite player of all time is, and always has been for a long time, is Warren Haynes. I mean, that's ground zero. That's home base for me. Like, if I hate the way I sounded one night, I'll just put on some records and steal something and try to, work that into my plan. I love his voice. I love his songwriting. Yeah. I love his phrasing. I mean, that's home base for me. There's a guy out of Scranton that I used to go see when I lived in Long Island. I used to go to a club in Greenwich Village in New York City every week, and I front row. And his name Clarence Spady. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but
no, never heard of him. I gotta get on it.
Yeah, check him out. He's a ferocious blues player, funk player. He play anything. Awesome. So yeah, he was definitely huge for me anyway. So he'd have to be there. As far as when I was young, learning how to play guitar would be important. I mean, Malcolm and Angus. I don't know if we can.
No, you can put the brothers together. Yeah. That works. That checks out.
Yeah, so they would be there just because, like, I feel like that's how I learned how to play guitar. Pretty much was AC/DC. I love the rhythm. I love the feel.
Malcolm too was always on the radio because obviously Angus had the outfit and the stage presence, but man, Malcolm he was the backbone of that band, man.
Yeah.
He could really jam.
Yeah, so they were definitely there for me. And then if I had to pick one more, it's like a tie. I'm like a Santana. I love Santana. I love his. It's Santana. As soon as he hits a note,
yeah.
I love the way he can make melodies sound. Santana's. I would throw one more in there, but you said four, so
right. Yeah, that's the fun of it. This is a nice list though. So far, no one else has picked any of these guys. This is the first. I like this. This is great.
Cool, man. Cool.
So you got one more, right? So you got.
I had Warren Haynes, Clarence Spady.
And then, okay, yep, and then Angus, and there we go. And then
snuck 5 in there.
And then Santana. No, that's perfect, man. Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for coming on, man. It's an honor to jam with you. And
yeah,
thanks
you too,
for
man.
coming on, dude.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Bye.